Believe it or not, this movie was actually really hard for me to get a hold of. I couldn't find it in any stores, and it's not streaming online anywhere, but I finally found a copy for sale on eBay. It's just too bad that got lost in the mail. Luckily, there was another copy listed at a sane price, so I bought that. And after a few days of waiting, I could finally watch Guns and Lipstick. Was it worth the wait? Of course not. Hey guys, welcome back to the show, and on this episode I'm going to be talking about Guns and Lipstick. Some of you may be wondering if Guns and Lipstick has anything to do with champagne and bullets, and it does not. I know, I was disappointed too, because champagne and bullets provided just so much material for this show, but movies like that only come around once in a while, unfortunately. The only thing that connects these two movies is that they both have Wings Hauser. But don't worry, because Guns and Lipstick still has some of its own very unintentionally funny moments. This movie came out in 1993, according to the credits and the DVD, but everywhere online says it came out in 1995, so I don't know who to believe, but who cares. It stars Sally Kirkland, Robert Forster, and James Hong, who has been in everything that has ever been made. The DVD of this movie is very representative of the movie itself. It provides nothing special. It doesn't even have subtitles. All you get in terms of features is the movie and the trailer for the movie. Which, maybe this is just me, but honestly, I've always felt this is really weird. I've never popped in a DVD, gone to the special features, and been like, oh, hey, look, the trailer for the movie I'm about to watch. Well, I gotta watch this. I remember with VHS tapes, they had trailers at the beginning, but that made sense because those trailers were for other movies that they're trying to promote. You don't need to promote this movie anymore. I just sat down to watch it. I'm here. You sold me. I bought it. It's done. So in Guns and Lipstick, we have Danielle Roberts, a former cop working as a private investigator, when a young woman named Mary comes in and tells her that some guy named Sammy is trying to kill her.
How do you know he wants to kill you?
Because I know.
Obviously, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered here, but what I really want to know is that popcorn for everybody, or is it just for her? So it just seems like kind of a tease to have clients come into your office, have some popcorn sitting there, but not share it. I guess Mary pays with the check in advance, which is good because Danielle desperately needs the money so that she can continue to add to her collection of various writing utensils. So Danielle goes and stakes out the bar where Mary works that says it has live nude dancers. And I always appreciate when they specify that because, you know, with the dead ones, it just never really works. I mean, it's okay, it's just not the same. Anyways, Sammy doesn't show up, so Danielle goes and crashes at the Hamburglar's apartment. In the morning, she wakes up to the cops banging on the door, and they start patting her down and throwing her around because, you know, there's been a murder, see? So they take her downtown, and Robert Forster tells her that Mary is dead, because they're gonna have to change that sign outside, and Danielle is like, well, that sucks. I was depending on that paycheck. But Danielle isn't going to let that stop her. She's a determined private investigator. She was hired to do a job, and her client was murdered. So come hell or high water, she is going to find out how to cash that paycheck. Because, you know, she did some work. And that roast beef sandwich she ate during the stakeout isn't going to pay for itself. So she goes to the bank to try and cash the check, even though Mary is dead.
It's from a client. Since the client died, I don't know if I can cash it.
Okay, the account has not been blocked yet, but now that I know she's dead, I have to do it.
Yeah, but when I said dead, what I meant was she was dead set on getting me that money. So how do we get me that money, which is rightfully mine, today?
Well, you'll just have to wait until the executor of the estate allows the account to be changed.
Oh, well that's actually perfect because I am that person. I am the executor of the account, the estate. Yeah, like Mary made me that last week. We got together and she was like, I hereby dub thee the executioner of my estate. So there you go. So being that person, I decree that the account be changed, and the money goeth to me. Right? Danielle gets home, and inside, 2 guys are already waiting with a gun. And if she had a nickel for every time someone came into her apartment and tried to feel her up, she probably wouldn't be in the dire financial situation she's in now. And then maybe she could move into a different apartment, one that has a lock on the door. Anyways, they take her to Mr. Song. He's rich and, I don't know, involved in crime somehow, I think. And he's like, tell me what you know about Mary or I'll beat you up. And everybody seems to be questioning her because they think she was involved with Mary's murder somehow. But nobody seems to be asking the real questions. Like how she got a hold of the Joker's clothes.
You don't have too many clients, do you?
To be fair, it doesn't really seem like she's that good at her job, so it's not really surprising she doesn't have many clients. So Mr. Song is like, find me Sammy today and I'll give you $5 grand, 500 less each day after. So Danielle goes to the best place for information, the strip club. Which makes a lot of sense because not only did Mary work there, but the strip club offers a lot of things other than just nudity. You know, some people go there just to socialize. Others enjoy the food. Some people go to admire the lighting or the music. Myself, it's the positive, can-do atmosphere. Because it takes a lot of confidence to take your clothes off in front of everybody. It's inspiring. You know, it's motivating. It's like a TED Talk, a naked TED Talk. Some people go to TED Talks for information, others go to strip clubs. It's basically like comparing apples to apples. I mean, honestly, the only real difference here is that TED Talks don't have a poll. Maybe if they did, more people would go. I don't know, I'm just saying. Couldn't hurt. Danielle talks to a girl named Marsha, who isn't of any real help, and then the next day she goes back to the police station where Robert Forrester tells her that Marsha is dead. And Danielle is like, well, that sucks, but I'm gonna finish the job anyways. I gotta find Sammy. And Robert Forrester is like, yeah, well, we already found Sammy. He's dead. And I mean, damn, this whole private investigator thing isn't working out too well, is it? Which is actually okay, because you could always rebrand as Death Magnet. You know, someone wants someone killed, they go to you, tell you who needs to be killed, then you go find that person, just talk to them for 5 minutes, and that's apparently all it takes. Someone else will kill them. So Mr. Song gives her the money, $4,500. Since he didn't specify that Sammy had to be alive, details are important, people, and I'll be honest with you, if I was her, this movie would end right here. That's it. I mean, just imagine it. You get paid in advance, and all you really had to end up doing was sitting in a car and eating a sandwich for a few hours, going to a strip club. Then you get paid $4,500 because the police found a dead guy? I'm calling it. That's it. I'm done. Thank you very much. I'm going home, gonna take a nice long nap. I mean, that's a pretty good week. And yeah, some people died. That's unfortunate, but still. It's not really my fault. So on the way home, Danielle's friend, the bartender, tells her that some guys are waiting outside of her apartment. So she uses the old private investigator trick of hitting the elevator button, hiding, and then doing this.
First one who moves, I'll shoot. Try me. That's what I thought. Bunch of amateurs.
Yeah, a bunch of amateurs. I'm sorry, didn't your client get killed the very first night you were supposed to be looking out for them? But whatever, she's a pro, which is why she's taking them up to her apartment. I'm sure she's got a plan.
Outside. Ow!
She wakes up inside of her apartment, and for God's sakes, lady, does the door close properly? Or does just everybody in town have a key? So this guy with cowboy boots and crazy eyes is like, I want the stone. The stone belongs to us. Everybody in the movie is now looking for this stone. I can't remember what it's called or the background or whatever. All you need to know is that it's a very valuable stone. They start driving to San Diego for some reason, but they're being followed by Song's men. And if you're kind of confused by all of this, I don't blame you. Danielle is able to punch everybody, and the car rolls over, knocking everyone out, except her. Then she gets Hong's men to take their pants off and steals their car. And see, she thought this would be a deterrent. Maybe they don't like pants. Some of us don't want to wear them. Mary's brother, Andy, has the stone, and Mary told him that if anything happened to her, that he should sell the stone, and then maybe he can move into a place that isn't a dorm room the size of a closet. There are some really funny moments in this movie that just come out of left field. They go to the bartender to ask him if Andy can stay with him for a while, and then there's just a bar fight that happens out of nowhere. Back at the police station, Robert Forster is like, hey, the crazy-eyed cowboy is dead, and I think you did it. I guess Mr. Song pays to bail her out, and then stay with this couple who seem pretty unhinged, and this whole thing is just really weird. It all sticks out like a sore thumb. It's really odd, so I'm just gonna breeze right past it. At one point, we get a bunch of exposition dumped on us when Danielle runs into Mr. Song's daughter, Felicia. And then they walk around in circles for a while as Felicia shockingly reveals that she's not his daughter. She used to work with Mary. They were friends and she hates Mr. Song. She wants the stone. Shocking. And it's funny because even though she details everything that's happened so far, it's still kind of hard to follow because it's not that interesting. And Felicia has only appeared once before, so this whole reveal kind of lacks any real punch. Anyways, that's enough of that. So Danielle gets shot and she knocks out Felicia. Then after they put her in a room to recover, she knocks out one of Mr. Song's guards. And then another one, because apparently she has hands made of concrete. Wow, looks like it was pretty easy to escape. I thought Mr. Song had a lot of security measures around his house, including a gate. She picks up Andy and he's like, hey, we gotta get you to a doctor. You've been shot. You could bleed to death. And she's like, nah, I've had a lifetime of hard drinking, cigarettes, and regret. I'll be fine. So they go to a hotel where Andy practices his martial arts while she sleeps for an entire day, and they put the stone in a safety deposit box. They agree to sell the stone to Mr. Song in front of the police station, but I guess Felicia sends a bunch of guys to do a drive-by, and Song is killed along with the cop. And Robert Forster is like, well, guess what? Turns out Song is dead. And she's like, yeah, I know, I was right there. So Robert Forster's like, hey, I can help you sell the stone for the same price that Song was going to give to you, because this all sounds very legit. Danielle goes to meet Felicia, and as we've seen already, Danielle is a woman of many talents, a jack of all trades, if you will. And now we get to see more, like how fluent she is in Spanish.
I'm supposed to meet my amigo, canto findo.
Danielle goes to Felicia, and she's like, you killed Song and a cop.
I didn't intend to kill the cop.
Well, tell that to the guy who's gonna strap you in the gas chamber.
I'll take my chances.
And I think her chances are pretty good. I mean, you know what they say, intention is 9/10 of the law. Yeah, so if something bad happens, but you didn't intend for it to happen, it's not your fault. Pretty sure that's how they got OJ off. So Felicia confesses to everything because, of course, we've already established that she loves incriminating herself, and Danielle gets it all on tape. There's a shootout. I guess they're aiming for Danielle, but they don't care if they hit Felicia, so who knows who's on whose side or who's working for who? I don't know anymore. But now we get to see another one of Danielle's talents, shooting a gun while riding a horse, which she's incredibly good at somehow. It's just too bad that she's not super talented when it comes to finding good parking spots.
Shit! Damn!
Eventually, Robert Forster stops her, and I guess he was involved with the whole thing because he's a crooked cop, and this ending is super anticlimactic. The other cop he's with, Pete, finds Felicia's confession, in which she implicates Robert Forster's character. So he shoots Pete, and he's about to shoot Danielle, but Pete shoots him. Then Danielle goes to the hotel, but Andy has already left, and he took the stone with him. And that's how it ends. Not really that satisfying in terms of an ending, it just leaves you with this feeling of, oh, okay. So I guess Danielle ended up with, what, $4,500 plus whatever Mary paid her in advance. I don't know how much it is. Let's just say $10,000 to be generous in total. Plus, I imagine she doesn't have health insurance, and that bullet wound is going to have to be addressed at some point. So is that worth getting smacked around, knocked unconscious, shot, threatened, kidnapped? I'm serious, I'm actually asking. That's the question for the comments. Would you take 10 grand for all of that? There's not a lot of info I could find on this movie. The whole thing is pretty dull. I guess that kind of explains why it was so hard to find. There's no real demand for it. Overall, it falls into this limbo of not being good, but not being bad enough to provide any you gotta see this moments, if that makes sense. It's not so bad it's good, it's just bad enough to have no impact at all. I want to thank all of my supporters on Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, and my YouTube channel members. I want to thank all of you for tuning in once again, but that's pretty much it for this one, and I'll see you all next time. It really sucks when there's no subtitles, because for a lot of the movies that I watch for this show, the audio isn't that great. A lot of times the dialogue isn't recorded well, or they're badly dubbed over. So having the subtitles is awesome because I know exactly what's going on. And sometimes I just can't hear because I'm eating while I'm watching. You know, like crunchy things like chips or popcorn, because I need something to satiate me while I'm watching these movies that are not satisfying. You can really find out a lot about somebody when they're naked right in front of you. You know, you can converse with them, get to know them on a deeper level. Who are they? What's their story?